chances created, but none of them hit the net. What are your thoughts on tonight?
It was a frustrating evening for us in all ways. We played some really good soccer, but we weren't great in the final act, and that's where you have to execute the most, and we certainly didn't do that.
John, is this a step back after 2 straight wins, albeit one of them in the Open Cup, but playing pretty well generally? Is this a step back, not picking up all 3 points when you very well could have?
Kevin, I don't know. It's hard to say that when you play a team that's above you in the table and you shut them out, that it's a step backwards. But on the performance alone, I don't feel like we played as well as we have in our last 2 matches. So from that standpoint, what Oscar said was accurate. This club, and this doesn't feel like we got any kind of result right now. It feels, the opposite.
With Magnus' shot that was saved, and then Luke at the very end, is it just about finishing, or is it any deeper than that?
No, it's way more than finishing. I wouldn't put those guys to blame at all. I mean, look, the amount of times we had opportunities to execute in the final third, and we didn't even get a chance out of it. I mean, those are the ones that are frustrated. I mean, we need to give ourselves more chances. And anybody can say, okay, we're leading the league and chances created. Well, we have to have the ball into our feet or our head, and we missed a lot of those services tonight. And those are passes. Those are passes that, quite honestly, I expect our guys to make, and we didn't make enough of them tonight.
You knew that they were going to be tough defensively. Now that you see them firsthand, what made them so tough to score against?
I mean, they sit in a really good block. They take away the middle. I thought their 2 central defenders and their 2 center mids were outstanding. They won everything that came their way. We needed to unbalance them, and when we did, unfortunately, we didn't take advantage of it.
Coach, you guys, like night in, night out, seem to somewhat have a target on your back, especially after, that Paco has that tough challenge, gets called for a yellow card. Do the guys in the locker room get the sense that they too, no matter where they are in the standings, are going to have a target on their back?
I mean, I think that's a responsibility that you have to have as defending back-to-back champion. So we don't even worry about it. You would love to get an occasional call here or there. And the referee had a fine game, but there was a couple instances where I'm just shaking my head because I don't know what the deal was. But, this was on us. We had them in a really good spot in the first half. We kind of took our foot off the gas, if you will, and we didn't, finish our chances in the first half. We gave them some chances that were really frustrating because we talked about the fact that they're a really good team on attacking set pieces, and yet we fouled off transitional plays, like defending throw-ins and things like that. And that's going to be something that we look back on the film and have to adjust and do a better job in.
What was the atmosphere here at Slugger like tonight?
I mean, it sounded great, but to be honest, I was so in my own head focused on that last, and I really thought we were going to win the game until the very end, and then it would have been electric. So my impression, it was a great crowd, and they were yelling and chanting all game long, and St. Louis had a few fans, so that's really cool to see a rivalry like that. And I'm just disappointed. I mean, I literally want to apologize to the fans at the same time, while telling them they're great, but hey, we're sorry we didn't get you the 3 points, because they deserve to celebrate like no other tonight, and that would have been fantastic for them.
John, was there any thought of a third attacking substitution, an infusion of late energy, or were we doing well enough that we
No, it's not a matter of doing well enough.
Need another sub.
Look, the only guy that we could have brought on that would have been Sonny. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. You're playing St. Louis. St. Louis loves the ball in the air, and they're monsters. The guy that I probably would have had to take out is Luke. So at the end of the day, I'm not taking Luke off the field in a game when we need him. And we needed him in the very last play of the game to defend that free kick. So at the end, I can understand if people are upset about that, but I'm not going to apologize for it, because that was what allowed us to be successful in that part of the game.
Ben picked up a knock, but he continued out there. Is there any update there? Any problem?
No, I don't have any idea. Our expectation is that this is a tough sport. You're going to get knocked, and you're going to have to play through pain. So I'm glad Ben did that.
Speaking of Ben, we're touching on a third of the way through the season, and Ben, without a doubt, has been wonderful for the club. I think everyone's going to agree on that one. However, the assumption is that chances are slim he'll be here beyond the end of the season. So, with an eye to the future, at what point is consideration given toward bolstering match experience for our permanent keepers, Chris and Tim?
Well, I absolutely believe in the development, and that's why I've played 4 different goalkeepers this year so far. That's a smart ass answer.
What about
truth?
That's true. What about in the league?
Look,
It's a tough question.
No, it's not. It's a really good question. But right now, we have to focus on winning games, And I think we have a really talented stable of goalkeepers. And you saw Chris, get a shutout on Wednesday night. Dobro's coming back from injury, and when we're all healthy, it's going to be fantastic. I would not like to have to play goalkeepers randomly and sign 5 guys, et cetera, et cetera. But for Ben, and Tim and Chris specifically, they're going to compete, and we're going to give opportunities as we deem fit. But we have to win games. That's our job. That's our responsibility. That's what this club is about. That's what our fans expect of us.
Did you have a pick for man of the match? Anybody in particular stood out?
I'm not doing this on film, Howie. You and I